Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So behind me you can see this awesome looking Breakout. It was done, I built this thing a little while ago. Some of you may or may not remember it from previous videos. If you don't remember this thing, guys, I'll give you a quick look at it and a brief rundown. So basically this thing is a 2020 Breakout. In here we've got the 131 cubic inch stage 4 kit from Screamin. I've got the Cyclerama CR512 camshaft in there. Guys, today this thing is here for a few future-proofing performance upgrades. So starting off, we are going to be putting a chain conversion kit on this. The reason we're going to a chain conversion, guys, is we are going to be doing a boost application on this bike. So I'm still doing a little bit of research at the moment whether we're going to stick to the supercharger side of things or we're going to do a turbo. Now, I've been talking to a lot of guys. Now, I have heard that there is a revision on the TTS supercharger kit. So we're holding off until that comes out so we can see what that's about. Obviously, we've got TRAS turbo kits and all that sort of other stuff as well. So, but back to the parts, guys. We're doing a chain conversion and we are upgrading the clutch here. So still running the factory basket, but we're upgrading here to the BARNETT Scorpion clutch, which replaces the inner hub. Obviously high quality clutch pack as well. Now it does come with some heavier springs in the box there as well to really fine tune how the clutch performs. And because we are going to be leaning on this thing pretty hard, the demands are going to be up there, guys. We're going with the Screamin high volume oil pump and cam plate option here. Now this, I will be talking about this guy a lot during the install. This is possibly the best option for cam plates out there. I know I have fitted, in the past, I have fitted the Fueling OE Plus cam plate, which is great, don't get me wrong. But as a combination, as a kit, I believe this one is the best kit out there over Fueling and S&S for many reasons. I'll get into those reasons during the install, but look, guys, for the moment we're going to get straight into this thing. We're going to pull the primary off and get this chain conversion happening, and then we'll go over the other side and get the cam installed. So let's get straight into it. Okay, guys, so we've got the primary cover off, of course. Now basically all we have to do now is remove the tensioner here. This thing already has the billet upgraded compensator ramp, so that thing's all solid there. Also, I did forget to mention, guys, this thing has a trued up and welded crankshaft in there. You would remember that if you watched the build video on this one. So look, anyway, guys, basically we're going to remove the primary drive system here. Okay, so with the inner primary off, guys, I'll just show you a bit of a look there. This is basically the inner primary housing, compensator, sprocket, clutch assembly, outer primary. So with all that off, guys, it doesn't look too bad. It was pretty easy. Basically, all we have to do is undo these two bolts here for our lock plate. Get the lock plate off, undo this big nut here, and obviously we've got to back off the drive belt tension here and pull the pulley off and install our drive sprocket for our chain drive. So yeah, let's keep going and get it happening. All right, so with that all removed, guys, I do have to pull the pivot shaft out slightly because we are going to save this belt. We don't want to cut it. So we'll save that because we can, of course, just once we put the sprocket on, we can, of course, run the chain through and join it back up. But we don't want to ruin a perfectly good belt just because. So, sorry, there's a plane flying over. Yeah, we don't want to ruin a perfectly good belt, so I will have to pull the pivot shaft out. And I believe on this bike, because he has those pipes, yes, I do have to pull the pipes off, but I do have to get them off anyway because I will be in the cam chest later on anyway. So pipes coming off, slide the pivot shaft out to get the belt out. Rear wheel's got to come out, of course, anyway, to put the pulley, the new sprocket on and spacers. So a little bit more to go yet. Alright guys, so with the clutch here, this one, all this one's running is the Screamin Eagle 1275 Newton meter springs in there. So, and it's been holding up quite nicely, but this is due for a lot more abuse. So we're going to the BARNETT clutch. So what we're going to do here guys is just undo these three 10mm head bolts, pull the retaining plate and springs out, and then we'll just pull all the clutch back out, and then we're going to press the inner hub out and install the new hub. So basically all we have to do guys is pull this, there's a circlip in here, and then we just press this inner hub straight out of the basket. Now guys, I know I didn't show the inner hub coming out because it's not very exciting. I will show the new one getting pressed in. But even looking at the basket, I mean, if you guys are followers of mine or subscribers, you'll know that this guy does give this thing a hard time, and the clutch looks absolutely fine. I mean, all these fingers here, there's no ridges in there where that's going to get notchy, anything like that. I mean, yeah, sure, there's some witness marks there, but you're going to find that on any motorcycle with the clutch working the way it does. But I mean, there is no, I cannot feel anything there at all. So I'm not sure what the rumor is with the clutch baskets exploding. I'm yet to see it guys, I have not seen it. I'm sure you're going to go mad in the comments and tell me about your buddies that exploded, but I've never seen it guys. So look, let's press this new hub in, get this new clutch assembled, and put it all back in the bike. Okay guys, this is pretty straightforward. I've got the basket just sitting on a press plate there on the ring gear and the hub, so it's quite secure. Basically all we want to do is pop our inner hub inside and just get it sitting relatively square on the inner bearing in there. There's very, very little pressure required to push this home guys, so you could probably almost do this with your hands on the press here. I'll just see if I can get this in here one-handed. Get that sitting relatively square, that feels pretty good. And yeah, a bit hard one-handed, but and that's now home guys. So I can see there that it's definitely well and truly home, and I've felt the press bottom out, so we're all the way home there. And then it's just a matter of popping our circlip back on the other side, and we are done. That thing is spinning true, so we'll just pop our circlip on the back there, and we'll be right to clean this thing up and assemble the clutch. I didn't bore you too much with just the installation of the clutch plates there. It's quite simple. Just follow the instructions. Yeah, just how it's laid out there. After all guys, this isn't a how-to channel. This is a what I do channel. So look, anyway, enough of that. The clutch is assembled. The rest of it is left to go on the outer plate here. In the box, now there are some larger, well, there's a few options with different springs. So we have here the stock ones that come in the basket. We have over here some medium, I guess you could call them, judging by the book here. And then the red ones here, the MT90-6, which is MT91-6, which are these bad boys here, the 100 pounds each. So guys, they are going in, and they're red too, so they're obviously, I mean, they're better, right? Like, they're red, so they are going to go in there to hold all this together. I've got the camshaft and everything out of here. The cam chest is empty. Let's take a quick look in here. I may or may not have mentioned earlier, but this is running a welded up and trued flywheel assembly. So I did put that in the initial build process, so no issues of crankshaft run out. This thing's been trued up and welded to under 2/1000ths of an inch of run out, so no issues there at all. We're still going to be running the 512 camshaft from Cyclerama, but we're going to the Screamin Eagle high volume oil pump and cam plate assembly. Got this thing lubricated nicely, so it's ready for assembly. So we just want to install our backing plate of the oil pump. Now with our G rotors, of course, we just want to make sure those guys are lubed up and full of oil, so it's primed and ready to go. So we'll just get plenty of oil on that guy. Now everyone's got a different way of assembling these, but I like to put the G rotors onto the pinion shaft, and again guys, plenty of lube in the oil pump cavities as well, just to make sure everything's all primed up and ready to go. There's an O-ring down in here. Do not pinch that. If that gets pinched, guys, it cannot scavenge the oil out of the crankcase, and you will sump your engine regardless of what oil pump you have. If that O-ring is pinched or damaged in any way, there's a big chance you will sump your engine. So very, very crucial, that, guys. So what I do is get those G rotors onto the pinion shaft, line them up, and then they just slide into the back of the housing there, and then you can just feel it center itself into the O-ring, and then just push evenly and it's home. Very, very simple and straightforward. And again, with the remaining G rotor, you want to lube this guy up, make sure it's full of oil. Get a little bit more on the pinion shaft because we can. Now just center those guys into place. Once the outer one is started, you can just rotate that around until it seats on the pinion shaft, and we are done. Easy as that, guys. Thoroughly fill and lubricate the cam plate, cam support plate. I've got to choose my words carefully or I'll be crucified in the comments section. So get our camshaft. Now a lot of guys put this in first or put it into the cam support plate. It doesn't really matter as long as it's installed. So get that guy seated. Make sure we're ready to go. New O-rings in place. Pinion shaft's ready. Line her up and just slide her on in. Look at that, perfect. All right guys, so what I do now is just get these guys just started a little bit. Just so the threads are into the oil pump. It comes with new bolts for the oil pump. We use the existing ones on the cam support plate. So we screw these guys in. Just want to get these started. Now the reason, what I'm about to tell you. Okay. What I'm going to do, guys, because this bike's lifted up, the wheels off the ground, it is in 5th gear, or 6th gear, sorry, I can spin the back wheel over, and what it does is centralises the pinion shaft into the oil pump, and the oil pump onto the cam plate, and the cam plate into the cam chest. So we do this a few times. Now on this bike, because it is a trued up crankshaft, it doesn't really need too much, but we're always going to spin it over and make sure everything's free anyway. So we spin it over a couple of times, then we're just going to nip up the oil pump bolts a little bit more, give it another spin around. You can see the camshaft's moving in now just due to a bit of crankcase pressure there, it's pushing it out, and then as the pistons go up and down, it's creating a vacuum. A little bit more, these guys are nearly seated. Just making sure everything's in place. Right, so there's not much torque on them. I've dialed it off on the gun, but spin that around again. And we're going to do up the cam support plate ones just a little bit. So we go, just back it off. Just bring that back out of seated, spin it around again. And then we're going to torque that up. So we just nip them up like that. Now, if I don't show myself using the torque wrench on here, I'm probably going to get crucified in the comments, so. Done. Pretty straightforward here, guys. Line up the index on the camshaft and the D on the bottom. Our dots line up. Looks like they don't line up there, but when we spin it around to top dead center, bang, bang, we're all in line, happy days. Ready to go. Sprocket locking tool slides straight in. And torque our 2 bolts up, tensioner on, we're done. Something I didn't mention, hopefully you can see down through the lifter blocks here, but it does actually have S&S lifter cuffs in there. Hopefully we can see, but anyway, there are S&S billet lifter cuffs in there, guys, so all good there. But yeah, how good does that look? It's a shame the cam cover is going to go in there and cover that up, but hey, all good. All right, guys, it's all back together. As you can see, the push rods are bled down and ready to go. I know that because I've talked about this in other videos, but basically once you preload the lifter, your desired amount, in this case it's 100 thou. Once that's preloaded enough, the lifter will bleed and equalise, and you can actually turn the push rod by your fingers. You can actually just turn them quite, they don't spin very free, but you can easily move them. So that indicates that they're bled down and ready to go. So nothing left to do but fire this thing up and give you guys a listen, because if you did watch the build video of this one, you'll know just how awesome it sounds. So let's fire it up for those who haven't heard it. And it is stone cold, guys, so she's ready to fire straight up. Well, that's pretty much going to bring this video to a close, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this type of video. It's something a little bit different from me. It's still performance based because I do want to keep the channel based on performance things. I don't really want to get involved with, do these tyres work better than that? Does these handlebars fit this? Like, I don't care about that. I want to keep the channel, the channel's core around performance. So yeah, that's why I'm trying to do this. But I hope this thing was a little bit different. Obviously, I have done a full build video on this, so if you want to check that out, the link is down in the description. But yeah, this thing was a little bit different this time. Obviously, talking a little bit about the cam plate, the oil pump, all that sort of stuff. And then of course doing the chain conversion on this as well. So I hope you guys like this sort of thing. If you do, yeah, let me know in the comments. Like, share, all that sort of stuff. Hit all the things. But yeah, I really can't wait to see what we end up doing with this bike, guys. So I know the owner is keen to turbocharge or supercharge this thing in some way or another. So as I said, we're just waiting out to see what this new revised supercharger kit is from TDS. So we'll suss that out and check out all the pros and cons about it. And of course, we'll do a bit more research on some of the turbo kits out there to see exactly what is going to suit this thing the best. We are probably going to have to do a cam change on that because there's probably a little bit too much exhaust duration on this camshaft, so we're probably going to be wasting too much boost. Even though we're probably not going to be running silly amounts, we'll probably run 10, 12 pounds, something like that. So nothing crazy stupid. I know car guys probably, run 40 and 50 in most bigger applications, but yeah, 10 pounds probably enough for this thing. So yeah, it just depends on what we do. But anyway, that'll be another video, guys. So look, I appreciate you guys sticking around and waiting to the end of this one and watching it all. Really, really means a lot to me, guys, that you guys enjoy this sort of stuff. and the support across the channel, as always, is great. So thank you very much, guys. I'll see you in another one real soon.